Welcome to Babyface Tell Stories. You may get comfortable and enjoy the journey. We remember that Rizzy, in her young 15 years old, started feeling more feminine than she ever had before. But coming from a somewhat conservative family, her mother remained her voice of reason. This summer, Coco, Rizzy's best friend, would introduce her to, yes, lust. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world. 1 John 2:16. Standing in the train, they were all talking. Rizzy and handsome stranger, just a little less, as they had not yet been acquainted to one another. But when they finally got introduced to each other, his name was Dev. His skin was immaculate, his jawline oh so structured and strong. He was somewhat slightly taller than all of them. Well, not to forget that they were 15. Moving on. His stature was similar to one of a soccer player, or internationally known as footballer. He was mixed, and though he tried to put on a countenance, his shyness exuded throughout his whole being, and it was very apparent. Gosh, are you kidding me? What could be more attractive than a man outwardly blessed by God, and to top it off, unaware of the exuberant beauty of his being? One thing was for sure, Rizzy desired to be friends with Dev. And as the time went by, they got to know each other even better. He was raised in a Christian family, had siblings, and they were close to each other. As a friend of mine would say, he looked innocent. I don't know how to describe this innocence, but y'all, he looked as if life hadn't corrupted him yet. There. He wasn't trying to act or be like someone else, and just like the rest of them, they were just going through the motion of this thing called life. Yes, time when we had no worries about anything but just looking fly. God be blessed always. We have to appreciate the present. As they reached the mall, who was directly connected to the train station, they made their way like free spirits towards the stores. Funny thing, why is it that teenagers, though they have no money, still find it logic to go spend hours in a place where they know that it's not going to be productive? YOLO, I guess. So as they were strolling around the stores, window shopping and all, Dev was trying to look cool and relax, vibing on the store's remix. Gosh, that was funny, as the music was not even that bad. Trust. Instead of making him look corny, why did he look fine still? I guess there is no reason in heart matter. Oh, And as if he wasn't sweet enough, the man was trying to buy everything Coco touched or looked at. He really was trying to please her. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. In case you haven't yet got it, Dev was Coco's date. And I guess Keys Rizzy's. Keys was a nice guy, every girl's best friend. Yep, he was Rizzy's friend. Though he liked her very much, but he never officially proclaimed it. Rizzy knew it, but chose to never entertain it. Coco, on her side, didn't seem too interested about Dev either. He was cool, nice and all, but that was it for her. Rizzy's mother's voice was pounding in her head. Hey, whoa, first thing first, you focus in school, get yourself a degree, a career, then after maybe you could entertain the idea of talking to boys. Well, obviously these words were fading away every time she looked at Dev. She could see their future. Fast forward, after finally not buying anything, they decided to go and eat at a popular food chain for broke wonder youngsters. As they were seated there eating, they started telling each other stories and laughing. Tell me why Rizzy was laughing so hard and more than anybody else and everybody else. Was it really that funny? But what's for sure is that Dev didn't dislike her finding him funny. They had definitely broken the ice. Keys. Oh, Keys, Keys, Keys. Let's just say that Keys was not having it and was most definitely in a mental wrestling, seeing his secret crush feeling on another man. After spending close to 2 hours, mostly talking and laughing, they finally got up and leave. I'm sure the restaurant owner was like, was about time, shoot. Rizzy thought in her heart, how do I keep in touch with my crush? Rizzy and Dev continued bounding together in the train. She was happy. When the operator announced their arrival station, Rizzy felt a bit of sadness wash over her, as she knew that she would part right then and there with possibly her future. Now, let me tell you, when they first met and greet, Dev had shook Rizzy's hand, but I guess things had progressed. She could feel the reciprocal emotion between both of them, but neither her nor him was bold and courageous enough to step up. As they stepped out of the train and kissed goodbye. Yes! Kissed goodbye. Woo! Alright, let's be real. They've kissed on the cheek, okay? But that was everything and better than anything. They looked at each other and touched hands. Man, why? Why? His hands had a firm grip, but yet soft enough to secure a chick. That was it. They parted. Rizzy's was sad, but yet hopeful, as they had one thing in common: Coco. lovely people. Yes, for those of you who do not know me, hey, my name is Vita, aka Babyface, and I hope you have enjoyed this part 2 of Babyface Tell Stories podcast introduction to Lost. I am sure you were all wondering if Rizzy and Dev ended up seeing each other again. If you want to follow up, let me know in the comments or in my social on Facebook. You'll see that in the bio. Here in this part, our sweet Rizzy experienced what we call lust. Too often confused with love. Lust is a strong craving or desire for someone. It is driven by hormonal desire for sexual gratification. Though in Rizzy's case, it was a strong attraction, also called passionate love, and it can be associated with feeling of excitement, cravings for emotional connection, and intrusive thinking about a beloved, but here her crush. She really didn't know him, but she was convinced that they were made for each other based on an external attraction. Always confirm that the emotions are reciprocal and that the relationship is built on a solid foundation leading to a long-term relationship. Of course, that is your desire. And watch out not to lock yourself in lust.